Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. I'm always so happy to find you here. I do upload on Thursdays, but for this month of February, in honor of Black History, I've been uploading. I wanted to upload daily, but it's turned out to be every other day. So give me a pass on that. But I am certainly dedicating this particular upload to yesterday's Super Bowl. What an awesome game. So there we had history being made the entire game. So let's just break it down to what that actually looks like through the lens of anyone with a sense of conscience. Okay. So, in other words, there's no denying what we saw yesterday. And that really was one of the best Super Bowls that we've had in years. I mean, it was tight, it was competitive, it was tight scores the entire game. Everybody had their A game, but of course, you would expect that at that level of play. But there was so much history, rich history that was being made at that time, and we're in Black History Month. So I'd like to break it down for you, just a little bit of it, because I can't capture everything. Actually, as I kind of researched it, as you know, when you research anything, you find out something, you go to that, and then you start researching the other thing that you discovered, and before you know it, you'll be all day long finding these facts. But I'd like to just address some of the ones that are very, very obvious, and then ask why they haven't been that way in the past, and will they be that way in the future. So yesterday, we had Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Harris, both Jalen Hurts, both in the position of quarterback, starting quarterback, and played the entire game. Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. In the end, I mean, it was just tight the whole time. It was very gripping. Um, Kansas City Chiefs won 38-35. So the game is over. You should know right now. I'm not like spoiler alert. The game is over. But look at the history that was made. You had two Black quarterbacks playing against each other in the magnanimous game, the Super Bowl. The entertainment, the Negro, what they used to call Negro National Anthem, which is now the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, was really brought and really sung by Sheri Ralph, who just last year, with all her body of work, she received an Emmy for the first time. Now here she is. You heard her sing, right? So I'm going to drop that in the description box. She received an Emmy for the first time last year, but she brought that to the Super Bowl yesterday. Lift Every Voice and Sing. We also had Rihanna as the halftime entertainment, and that was set up by Jay-Z's company, Rock Nation, and they are under the family umbrella of Live Nation. And Jay-Z has been quarterbacking himself, I should say, negotiating these deals to find the talent that is often overlooked in those particular roles, depending on how wide and broad the audience is. If you can recall last year, it was all hip hop. It was the best to me, one of the best, except for Prince, of course. Michael Jackson too. But the halftime last year had Mary J. Blige, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, Eminem. I mean, it was just everything. And that was negotiated for the appearance by Jay-Z himself and his company, Rock Nation, which was founded in 2008. So here we are all these years later. Here we are all these years later, and for the first time having two quarterbacks. The young lady, by the way, so let's just finish the talent piece of the game. The young lady who did the sign languages to Rihanna's performance was also African American, also Black American. So all of this recognition of the true talent that we have that's always been there, but now we finally have an open opportunity to display it. I happened to notice 2 of the 4 reporters of the game were Black. And it just, why should it bless my heart? But it just blessed my heart because what we're often up against is a positional block, just like in football. You got a safety, strong fit safety, and a free safety back there. They're not gonna let you get through, no matter what. They're not gonna let you get through, and that's what it's like for the NFL. How can that be? So let's take out this handy little calculator on my phone. Let's take out the handy calculator. There are 32 teams in the NFL, but there's only 3 head coaches. There are 32 teams in the NFL, but there's only 3 head coaches. There's only, I believe, 8 quarterbacks. This is a sport where 70, not 17, 70% of the players are Black. So how does that make sense? It's like a seesaw. How does that make sense? The ownership of the game, not Black, none are Black, and few are in positions of leadership of the organization because, as you know, the NFL is the league, but each one of those 32 teams are their business. So here you have 32 teams as a business with all these names on the roster, which equate to 70% of players. So the players make the sports, but the owners reap the rewards. How is that not different than field? So we're on a field, then almost what I hate to say, field slavery. Because what it is, if we look at what it is a denial of access. You don't have the right access code. Oh, did you try that? Oh, that didn't work. Try this one. I gave you the right one. Which one did I get? Still nothing open. It's like open Sesame Street. When you go open? I've gotten to the point to where I think the denial of access, the positional blocking, the obfuscation is a deliberate intent to blind the truth or evade facing it so that it becomes a strength of the person who's doing it. In other words, it's a ruse. It's a ruse. At times, I try to be careful with my level of truth and my delivering of it, because people are so uncomfortable with truth, especially when it's an inconvenient truth that points back to you. Why all this time? Which, of course, we should be rah, 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 excited. A few years ago, I wouldn't be talking about this. I'd be like, oh, yeah. But the reality is, why hasn't it never happened after all this time? I hate that term, after all this time, but the reality is after all this time. Turns out to be that it is the 3rd highest viewed Super Bowl in all time. So now it's record breaking. See what a Black man can do. Because what happens is the media positions image of Black men, particular, as a threat to society when the reality is it's just the opposite. It's just the opposite. But that's not reported. But it was seen by 113 million viewers yesterday. So fight the power. No, seriously, fight the power. I think back to 2004, I believe it was. Yeah, it was 2004 because that was the sad year that we lost my godson. The Super Bowl halftime performance was Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake. And if you can recall, there was what they call a wardrobe malfunction when Justin pulled part of the garment that Janet was wearing, and her breast came out, and they started calling it for her nippleration, but for him it was wardrobe malfunction. The language you use to confuse an issue is also a ruse. So what happened to their careers? Hers began to take a dive, and his began to flourish. So you can say it had to do with the PR people that was backing it. No, the Jacksons have the best PR people. She could not seem to recover from it. She was on slippery slope, but everywhere you go, there was Justin Timberlake in movies, doing new albums, doing special appearances, doing a celebrity golf team, which he was, really getting him out there to remove the view of him having anything to do that. This is how the ruse works. This is how the trickery tricks you. This is how the nonsense is nonsensical. A news alert, we woke now. I'm sorry. People are calling these things out. What I call in my mind, the wizard of the Wizard of Oz. No one saw the wizard. All through this journey, Dorothy trying to go home. Dorothy trying to go home. Auntie M. And she's meeting all these characters all along the way just to get to the wizard and ask the wizard to take her back home, only to find out nobody ever saw the wizard. And when he came out, he was a buffoon. She could have got her own self home. All of this is what I'm saying. It's nonsensical. It does not make sense. Now, I'm trying to harness myself. I'm trying to harness myself because this is a time to celebrate. Actually, I had the Chiefs. I was like, yes, but when you look at these facts, in order, so let me say this. Let me say this. In order to see vision, see illuminate, see woke, see comprehend, see understand. In order to see a wrong, it has to first present itself to you. It has to first be disclosed to you. It has to first be revealed to you. But once it is up to you to do something about it. All these years, there wasn't a Black quarterback. I mean, there was one here and there, Cam Newton, all that. It's almost like when there was a Black quarterback, it was like, okay, we'll give you a chance. No, news alert. If 70% of your players are Black, then the best players out there are Black in the NFL in every position there is. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I am unbraiding for all of us to see, is beneath the scenes, way back there, and that what's holding that up. If it had not been for Jay-Z negotiating these appearances. I believe it was 4 or 5 he's done already, certainly last year and this year. What opportunity would there have been? Because looking at the entire spectrum of the Super Bowl, it is one of the highest viewed sports every year. So there's a cameraman for us to see it. There's a sound technician. There's a green room. There are announcers, and they're all white. I'm just talking about Black history, but they're all white. We can't hold a camera. We can't be a sound technician. Just like you said, we couldn't be a quarterback. And didn't we prove that to you? Just like you said, we couldn't do a halftime show, and we proved that to you. Just like we said, we couldn't have an Emmy for Shirley Ralph, and she got one this year, and then did Lift Every Voice and Sing, and we proved that to you. How much more do we have to prove to you? To you, I'm talking the ones in the authority to do the positional blocking in the first place. Stop your nonsense. Stop your nonsense. Black people in general have made such contributions to this country and other countries that it's insurmountable to index them. It's insurmountable to calculate them, insurmountable to itemize them. In other words, it's just too vast. So to not open the door of opportunity or to open it as a figurehead, because that's another trick, is they'll bring a person in. Who is they? Positional blockers is who I'm talking about. So who it is who it is. Positional blockers. Obfuscators. Ruse handlers. Trickery. The devil. However you want to put it. These are cunning things that are done. But oh, what glory. One day comes, like yesterday, where we had these two great, I felt like it didn't matter to me who really won, because at the end of the day, we all won, because this is a Black thing yesterday. Okay? That's what that was. And it will be continued, more Black things every day. Everybody needs to embrace the fact that Black history is happening every day, and we shall overcome is already a past tense, and we're living in that right now. So you need to overcome that. You need to overcome that. Whomever, positional blockers is who I'm talking about. Everyone is trying to move into a place of unity. So when you do positional blocking, you disturb that. And how does it make sense when all the talent is there, just as I described? So let's celebrate the Kansas City Chiefs as well as the Philadelphia Eagles, because yesterday was quite a day, as it is in every Black life every day. Trust. Have a nice day. See y'all. Bye. I see y'all next time. Bye. Oh, tune in tomorrow. I got something special for y'all for Valentine's Day. But I re-recorded it like 2 weeks ago. But oh, it's good. I have to admit, I like that one. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Happy Valentine's. Bye.